Assalamu alaikum and welcome to a new engineering related video. In today's video, I'll continue from where I left off last time. In the last video, I showed you how to build an FPV drone all from scratch, step by step, starting from the components and unboxing them until the end of the video where I made a test flight in a field and I showed you that the drone was working successfully. However, in the last video and for the test flight, the field was actually crowded, so I couldn't make a lot of hard moves and it was a little bit boring. But yeah, I had to add it because a test flight is important after building the drone. Everyone wants to see that the drone is working successfully. But in today's video, we will focus on two main things. First of all, we will do again another test flight where I will do a little bit hard maneuvers. I'm not one of those racing FPV pilots. I'm not that professional. I use FPV for shooting some landscapes and making some dives. However, today, because the weather is really hot and even the weather apps, they were sending some warnings about the weather and they were warning people not to go outside and stay in the street. That's why I thought it's a good idea to go to the field. I know there will not be much people, and guess what? It's actually almost free. So in today's video, I will do two main things. We will fly the drone a little bit and see how it's flying actually. And the second more important thing is that we will also test the GPS rescue. It's one of the most important things in the drone. One of the main advantages that the FPV drones of DJI have over the other FPV drones is the return to home option, where if we want the drone to come back by itself, or if we, for example, lose the signal, then we are sure that the drone will try to come back to where it started from. And yeah, for sure this feature will save a lot of money, because if we don't have this feature, the drone will just drop off from where it lost signal. So that's one of the advantages that we have in the drone that we built, that we have a GPS, and with Betaflight we can add also this feature of GPS rescue. Before, the GPS rescue was not that good like it is today. Since Betaflight 4.5, I believe, the GPS rescue is actually doing great, and that's what we'll be testing today, and we'll see how the drone will come back and how accurate it is when it comes back, how far it will be from the place that we started it from. So without any further ado, let's get started after the intro. So now we can get the drone ready. As you can see, this is what we reached last time. Here is the drone with the battery, still looking awesome. And we have the remote of DJI and the goggles as well. I would like to mention that the GPS rescue before, I mentioned that it is now actually working fine since Betaflight 4.5, I believe. Before that, it was also working, but it was not that accurate. So it was coming closer to the place it was flying from. And we as pilots, we were hoping that our remote will get signal back and we will then take control of the drone. But now it's actually getting better and better. That's what we will test today, how good it is right now. But this also for sure depends also on the GPS that we are using and from where we are starting. Are we getting enough satellites with the GPS or not? All that we will see today. Now the goggles and the remote are on. So as you can see, guys, this is where I will start the drone from, and I would like you to focus on where we start the drone from, so that when it comes back we want to see where it will be landing. Let's fly the drone and test first of all the GPS, if it will come back, and then we can do another flight and see how the drone is flying. And as I can see from the goggles, we have 20 satellites, which is actually perfect. That's really good. We'll fly the drone around and test the GPS. It's now on angle mode, as you can see on the screen, just to be sure there are no one running. Yeah, no one is on the field. Let's go a little bit far away and see how it will go. Bismillah. I can see there is some wind. And now we are in manual mode. You can see how free and how empty the field is, which is good to test. Just moving around to check that everything is working fine. And also we can see the arrow. It's showing where is our home. And actually it's not that accurate, the arrow I mean. But in which way we'll try the GPS. So now I'm just moving around to see how everything is working fine. And now I'm descending a little bit. How GPS now will work. So I will turn it on. I want to come a little bit closer to the ground, being sure that there is no one. And then we can test it from here. So now it's on rescue mode. You can see that on the goggles. It's still going up. Yeah. And is it coming back or not? I think it's coming back fine. Let's check what will happen. Now I think it's on the top. I'm not sure what's happening. And you can see where it landed. So it was not actually that accurate. We started from here and it landed over here. That was not the perfect, because I was hoping that it will actually land close to where it started from. This was not that close, but it's not that bad. And you can see also while it was coming down, it was not smooth, so smooth. I don't know what is exactly the reason, but I think it's because there is wind. It was actually flying fine, and that's actually good enough. Like as I mentioned before, it was working that it comes close, I guess around 15 or 20 meters away from where it started from, and then we would hope that it will that our remote will get signal to the drone, then we will take control. But as you saw, this was actually landing all autonomous by itself. From where I started the GPS rescue until it landed, I didn't have any control over the drone, and that's actually quite amazing. So now what I will do is that I will fly around, and yeah, I'll do some flight, and maybe when I come back I will test again the GPS rescue. Again, I'll start it from somewhere here, and let's see if it will be more accurate or it will do the same exact actions. And actually the people on the field also, they are happy that I'm flying the drone, and they want also to take some shots with the drone. So I can also do that. I will fly the drone, and maybe they will be that main focus on our flight. I will try to take some videos for them while they are playing. So yeah, let's fly. And now let's try again the GPS rescue. Let's see what will happen this time. And it's coming down. That's good. That was good. And it started making noise because of the battery. It's almost over. So that was actually also good, not so bad. But again, it landed a little bit far away from where we started from. And this noise is from the buzzer. We have to turn it off. So as you saw, guys, the GPS rescue was working fine. The GPS was getting a good enough signal and satellite, around 20, or even it was more than 20 at some point. So the GPS rescue was working fine. This time we did a little bit of hard movement with the drone, and everything was working fine. Again, the manual control was a little bit even better than the Avata, because I guess of the design. Just a quick note though, because I mentioned that this drone was flying better than the DJI, or I felt that it's better in manual mode, because yeah, the DJI Avata has a design that is also made to fly the drone indoors, to make it safe if we want to fly the drone inside our room, for example, or inside an office. However, these drones, as you can see, if they hit any object, they will cause damage and they can break something, or they can even cause an injury for a person. That's also something to keep in mind. That's why it is also having some disadvantages when flying in manual mode outside and doing some acrobatic moves or whatever. For that, this drone is better, but for sure, this one will have a hard time if you would like to fly it indoors. I even don't think I would ever fly this type of drone indoors. So yeah, I wanted to mention that as well. In a separate video, in another video, we will also test and compare both this and the Avata. Also in another video, I will also test if we mount a GoPro, how it will fly. And we can also compare the quality from the O3 unit and the Insta360. That's what I will be using. So that's what we will see in the next videos. Let me mention something, and that this GPS rescue, it's not something actually smart. I mean, you are giving some steps for the drone for when it gets lost. So for example, using the GPS, which for sure if we don't have a GPS, this GPS rescue will not be working. But also it's worth noting that, for example, with the DJI Avata, the drone itself has some sensors that can sense if there are obstacles on the way. Even I know that they use also the camera. So they also still have some benefits over this custom FPV drone. Because in our case, what's happening is that we are giving some signals or some actions that the drone has to do in case that we lost connection with the drone. So it's not doing anything smart. What I mean is that once I activate the GPS rescue, you can see that the drone was going up for a certain altitude, and even the speed, we are setting this speed, and then the drone uses the GPS signal, only the GPS signal, to come back to where it started from. And even when it's coming back down, we also set the speed of landing, and all this stuff we are setting manually. There are some default values that are given by Betaflight, but you might need to change it based on the design of the drone, how heavy it is, and all this stuff. Because even one of the settings that we have to set in Betaflight is what is the value of the throttle that will keep our drone hovering in place. If any of these values are not chosen correctly or carefully, this might cause the drone to crash. So these values also should be set carefully. And for that, I can make also another video about this topic on how we can set these parameters and how we can set this GPS rescue option in the best way possible for our drone to come back safely. So that's it guys with this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, you can let me know in the comment section. And see you guys in the next one.